This is May 18th, 2016. Welcome to WordPress Wednesday. For the next hour, we'll be discussing all things WordPress. Comments, questions, issues, and critiques are always welcome. For those who may not know me, my name is Steve, and I'm known to many online as the WordPress Wizard. I've also been called the Coach's Coach and the Web Guy for Coaches. I work with a lot of those people. As a published author, WordPress instructor, and online presence developer, I earn my entire living right here on the web, mostly by helping others to do the same. I'm the founder of wizardsplace.com, and you can contact me through that site or by email. I'll post links in the sidebar in just a few minutes. I work with coaches, home-based business owners, heart-centered marketers, writers, and other creatives, all solopreneurs who are serious about moving their business. I'm approachable, I'm affordable, and the first half-hour consultation is always free. I'm certainly glad to talk to anyone who wants to discuss their online presence needs. I'm also looking always for joint venture partners. I've got a few good projects on the go from time to time, and there's every good reason to begin your journey from website to wealth today. So with that out of the way, we're going to talk today about WordPress. And I've got a few interesting things to share. But before we do that, let me just get a couple of housekeeping things out of the way. First thing, of course, I like to mention, this is WordPress Wednesday, but I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Monday, it's Motivational Mondays, and right now we're working through a 10-part series on business blogging. We'll be going into session 7, I think, next Monday. And Wednesdays, of course, is WordPress Wednesday, all about WordPress. And Friday is Focus Friday. We focus on you and your business. So come on and jump into a seat on Friday and tell us what you're doing, what your plans are, what you're looking to launch, and the successes you're hoping for. We'll be glad to share them and maybe connect you with people that can help out. I did say I was going to post my contact information in the sidebar, and anybody who's here should do the same. We're always glad to have you share how to reach you, what you're doing, what you've got cooking, what you're planning. Always good to share that in the sidebar. Not every purpose of having the sidebar and having a opportunity to be able to do that. It's all about networking. So there's my email address and my website, wizardsplace.com. I did post a little thing in the sidebar there a few minutes ago. It's scrolled off the top now, but those were words shared by Reverend Dr. Robert Schuller many, many times, and very accurate words. We're going to talk about that going forward a little bit too. In the meantime, if you've got a question, post it in the sidebar. To do so, put a /, the letter Q, and then a space, and then pop your question in, and we will be able to see the question because of the cue ball there and get into it a little quicker, a little easier, so that'll help. And it's just easy to do, the /, the letter Q, uppercase or lowercase, doesn't matter, and then a space, and type your question, press enter, and boom, there it is. Hi, Barb. Welcome. Glad you could make it today. We're just getting going. I'm just doing some of the housekeeping stuff here that we need to get into. And as everybody knows, I often share books or a book each session that we do here. I think reading is a important thing, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. John C. Maxwell, who's a leading leadership expert, says, "Learn to read and you will learn to lead." Interesting play on words, but really true. If you're a coach, a business leader, you want to be reading on a regular basis. I think that's absolutely important to be doing so. And in this session, because we're talking about WordPress, I usually provide a free book that relates to WordPress. Today I'm going to go a little further afield because WordPress isn't only about WordPress itself, it's about what you do with it. And I've actually got two books to share today that I think are pretty important. They're both free. I try always to find books that are being offered by their authors for free. These are both for Kindle, of course. The first one is a book called Infotainment Blueprint. And pop that into the sidebar there if it works. There it goes. And it has a subtitle, Publish Books, Create Courses, Provide New Information, and Make Money Online. That's kind of a good goal, I guess, make money online. And most of us who are coaches or business people that are building a website and sharing with people will find that one of those areas, publishing books, creating courses, or providing new information, is something that we want to do. Yesterday, I came across a couple of things, and two phrases that have to do with content. One is the phrase, content is from. Content is king was the title of an essay written by Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft Corporation. He wrote that essay in about, I think it was 1996, and talked about how content was going to be the future of the internet. It certainly proved to be true. And in the early 2000s, 2002, I think, but I'm not sure about that, Seth Godin, a prolific author, a blogger, and a marketing expert, made the claim that the only kind of marketing left, content marketing. That's an interesting story too, and I think that that's pretty clear. And if you've got a WordPress website and a blog, you have the absolute best foundation for content marketing, for developing and delivering content online. So that's a pretty powerful position to be in, and you're there because of WordPress. So that's not too bad. I'm going to share the second book right away here, too. People who come late will just have to scroll back up to get it. But this one is called Social Media, Why Your Business Should Use Social Media. And that's a pretty basic concept these days. Of course, we're going to use social media. And once again, having a WordPress website, you are positioned to deliver your content through your website, through your blog, and reach out to social media. There's so many plugins that you can use to develop your social media interface with WordPress. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today too, so that book is certainly appropriate. And for those of you who don't have a Kindle, you can get Kindles on Amazon, of course. I love the Kindle myself. It certainly is worth, I think, having a real Kindle. It's just so easy to use, so comfortable to read. I remember when I was first looking at e-readers and looking at several different ones that were out there, I saw Jeff Bezos being interviewed on, doesn't matter. He was being interviewed on a show. What it was called isn't important. It was him that was important. And he was saying that the whole purpose that they had at Amazon in building the Kindle was to produce the best reading experience possible. And I have to say, I'm an avid reader. I've been a reader for years. I collect books. I ran a book search service at one time. I've owned and operated. There's something about holding a book in your hand and reading it that you just can't get from reading something online using the just seems to be the right size, the right format. It just works. It's thin, it's easy to carry, it's lightweight. You put it in your pocket. I keep it on my inside jacket pocket, and I take it with me everywhere. I carry a library of about 3,200 books around with me, so that's not bad, and it's all in this one little device that you can carry. Now, you got your cell phone, you've got a tablet, you can get the app, the Kindle reading app, for it. Use that device. You don't have to carry a Kindle. That's okay. And they read pretty well. Reading app on my desktop. You can synchronize them so that whichever one you happen to have handy, you can pick it up and just move forward from where you left off in the book. It works really well. It's cool. So anyway, let's look at the next thing that I've got here. And I just want to share a couple of things for those who may not already be involved. My Wizard's Place WP Classroom is a place for self-study. There's a series of videos in the startup that you get immediate videos for understanding how WordPress works and getting into the intricacies of using WordPress, examining all the different parts of the dashboard. And then weekly classroom sessions where I discuss different topics, a little bit like this, but more with a focus on things that are actually being used. And we share screen, do live presentations, live examinations in the dashboard, on the class, and the link there to the classroom is available. By the way, for those who are coming, I was going to replace. I've actually decided I'm going to add them to it rather than take away the other ones, because some of the things in the other set actually still apply and will apply going forward, and they're not covered in either of these two sets. But both of these sets of videos are WordPress 4. One is WordPress 4.5, right up to date. So great stuff that's coming, and excellently produced videos that will be great for you to pick up some more information about WordPress and the inside workings of it. So that's great. I'm going to mention my next launch, which is coming by the end of this month. I hope to have it in the last week of the month. This has been a year in production, a whole year. Hard to believe. But this is the 12th month that we've been working on this. It's Wizard's Place Content Creation Workshop. It's an awesome presentation. If you're looking to create content for your websites or for client websites, this is the workshop to take. It's a 90-day workshop. It's in depth. you're going to be working on it if you want to cover it all. There are 100 individual lessons. They're grouped into blocks of 10 that you should be able to work through in a week. Block of 10 lessons in a week. Some of them are smaller than others. One might take you a day to be involved with it. Another 2 or 3 you can work together. So if you do that, the 100 lessons, 10 blocks of 10, that's 70 days out of the 90. Then there's 20 more bonus lessons that we developed later on. We just had so much good stuff to share. We developed 20 bonus lessons. Was going to be 10, turned out to be 20. And so there's another 2 weeks. So that leaves you 6 days out of the 90 for review and downloading all the takeaway stuff. There's a wealth of links to resources and tools and apps and software. There's a lot of download material, documents and other things that you can download. There are videos as part of the material, an extensive number of videos, and there is just a whole series of information that makes this certainly the best content creation study system that I know about, and I've seen a few of them. This is no slouch. It's serious stuff. And that's going to start the last week of this month. Watch for the launch. I don't have a definite date yet. We're waiting for one more component that's being developed, and this is right up to date stuff. And we're actually, I've got an editor going through all the material, bringing in anything that we produced earlier, making sure it's right up to date. And I'm working on it quite a number of hours each day, actually, on it. And we have another component that's being developed that will be here in time to get us launched. So this is kind of exciting, and it's all focused on WordPress content that you can use on your blogs or websites. You will never have trouble writing a blog again after you take this workshop. So watch for it coming. So what else is happening here? Well, in our session on Monday, which did not go so well, Blab was having some serious difficulties. First of all, I couldn't get in. I couldn't promote the site and get into it in the morning and do my usual promotion. And then when I did finally get on, just before the Blab started, it wouldn't let me do things in the Blab, so I exited to come back in, as I usually do. I had trouble exiting. Should have warned me that something was wrong there. And when I did exit, it wouldn't let me back in again. The restart button wasn't working. So we had to start a new Blab, and that meant it was a little difficult for some people to find us. So I offered this. This was something that was scheduled to be offered during that session. And I know some of the people that follow me here on Wednesday also are on Monday. So I'm going to share this again. This is the Business Blogging Book, which is the foundation of the 10-part series that we're running through the Monday, Motivational Monday session on Blab. And that book actually sells on my Wizard's Place website. It's just $2.99, but it's still it's a retail product. But that's a free link to a PDF copy of it, and you're welcome to a copy if you didn't get one on Monday. You can grab it there. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Glad to see you with us. We just got going. I'm doing some housekeeping stuff here as usual, and I just passed out a couple of free books. Business Blogging Book, which is the foundational book used for the Motivational Monday series that we're doing. So on Monday. I want to share also, I shared this phrase earlier, as I said, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Robert Schuller used to say that a lot. And I'm going to share my favorite phrase here, something that I use fairly regular. It's not just my favorite phrase, I suppose, but it's actually a very important one, which follows on to what Dr. Robert Schuller used to say. So if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. It's important that you plan. And planning means setting goals. Now, if you set goals without plans, they're just dreams. And if you create plans without action, that's just wishful thinking. So you need to have goals and plans, and then you have to have action. And so whatever you're doing with your WordPress website, you've got to take action and get things going. I noticed somebody who was with us on Monday has put out 4 blog posts in this past 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 4 blog posts. And another person that I'm working with put out 4 blog posts this week. Just awesome. That's taking action, making things happen. So you want to do that. Now, goals need to be important. They need to be important enough that you will think about them and reach for them. They should be set out there far enough that they give you time to work on them. But they shouldn't be set out too far. If you set a goal too far in the future, well, you can put off. You don't have to do it today because, hey, it's not for 6 months. I can wait. It's not till next year. I can wait. And then things don't happen. You want to get those goals stacked up one behind the other, so you work to one and then there's another one waiting for you. You want to figure that out. And you set your goals in concrete. What I mean by that is the goals need to be just about immovable. If you want to move that goal, if you're procrastinating, you're not getting around to it, and it just isn't happening, you get close to the goal and you say, oh, I haven't got enough time left. I got to push that goal out further. Well, you got to think in your head like that goal is in concrete. You can't move it. So you've got to work towards it and get to it, get it done. Okay, that's important. If you have that in your mind, that the goal is set in concrete. But your plans can be drawn in the sand. That way, if the plans don't work, if they're not getting you to the goal, you could just brush them out, smooth them out, start over and draw new plans. Changing your plans is okay. Don't change your goal. Think about your goal, set your goal properly, put it in concrete, and then create a plan that will get you there, and then work that plan. Measure it, measure the outcomes, and if it isn't working for you, change the plan. It will get you where you want to go. So that's a little bit about goals, and goals apply to all aspects of your business and your life, but they also apply to your WordPress site, your website, or your blog, or both. And one of the things you want to do is set a goal. For example, how many blogs are you going to write this year? Now, that's a goal that's out there somewhere. But if you use what we've talked about before, the 4 whys of success, then you're going to remember that in that goal. So you can certainly use a year as a measurement for your blog post. That's a good way to do it. That's the whole cycle of the year. But you want to use those 4 whys of success wisely. And so you're going to write great quality blog posts, certainly as good as you can, and you're going to write them often. You're going to post them often anyway. You may only write them even once a month or once every couple of months, but you're going to write enough of them so that you can spread them out over the time until you're going to write them again. And so you want to have that frequency of posting be enough to work for you. Now, there's all kinds of numbers around. People will tell you different things. I know one very good coach who tells her clients, it's okay, start with 1 post a month. That's okay. Well, it is okay. It's better to start with 1 post a month than no posts a month. However, 1 post a month won't get you there. So you should know that ahead of time. 1 post a month just won't cut it. So the next step then is to say, well, maybe I can do 2 or 3 posts a month. Well, that's pretty good, but 2 or 3 posts a month kind of give you an out, right? You say, well, 3 posts a month, I can post every week and then a little bit in it, so I can miss the little bit too. And pretty soon you're missing the first week of the next month. Well, that's okay, because it's just the first week. I'll get the last 3 weeks of the month, but then you're in the habit of missing the 4 whys of success so that you can be successful. So it's a good idea, if you're going to start seriously with blogging, to blog at least once a week. Now, that's not necessarily 4 times a month. That might be 5 times in some months and 4 in others. But once a week is kind of easy. We sort of cycle our activities by the week. Every Friday we look forward to the weekend, and every Sunday we're getting ready to go back. And whatever that is, get that post done for once a week. And if you sit down and write 4 or 5 posts at a time, you can schedule them out there for once a week. And if you're only writing 1 post a week, I suggest that you write it, you post it for the same day every week. Same day, same time. Tuesday at 10 a.m. That doesn't matter what day. I'm just pulling that out of a hat. But Tuesday at 10 a.m. doesn't matter what time. And there's a lot of posts around and information around. There's even courses around about when the best time is to post. Now, that's interesting to me because my business is global. Now, if your business is just local, there are some good times to post for your locality. But if your business is national or international, and if it's global, then, it's kind of hard to say, well, 2 o'clock is the best time to post, because it's 2 o'clock somewhere every hour. So that would mean posting once an hour to be able to catch the 2 o'clock at every place. So you want to think about that and realize that you really want to get your posts up. Whatever time you post, I've been told that between 2 and 3 a.m. is the time when most people are online that actually who read blogs. People with insomnia, people who stay up late, people who get up really early, people who get up to check their email. There's a lot of people on reading seriously at 2 to 3 in the morning. Now, that surprised me. I've never actually checked it out myself, and I'll take the person who's done the testing on it at face value and accept what they've said. That's okay, but it's between 2 and 3 every hour somewhere. So somebody's up, and if you work around the, if you work around the globe, then there's somebody around the clock that you want to access. So the key is, though, that if you post at 2 in the afternoon, that person who's coming to your website to see what you've posted will find that post waiting for them at 2 the next morning. So it really doesn't matter when the most reading is done. What matters is that you regularly get a blog post up for the people who are doing the most reading. We can argue all day long about which hour is best, but it doesn't matter. You get the post up, the post doesn't, dissolve away. If it stays there, and people can read it. So bring your posts together over time. You build a collection of posts, and people who haven't come regularly, if you're posting more frequently than they come, they will find extra posts to read. But also become readable, only become active at the time you set. So you can write 5 posts, post 1 a week, you set them up, you pre-post them, you schedule them, and they appear live 1 a week, Tuesday at 10 o'clock, or whatever time is right for you. and you've succeeded in doing that. Hey, Brian, welcome. Glad to have you with us. We're talking about WordPress and right now a little bit about blogging. And so it's a key thing to do that. Now, the other thing about what we're talking about there in quality also applies to quantity. If you've got some frequency going on and some continuity going on, you're going to build a base of posts, and it takes that base to be a certain size to make things happen. You will find with your blog somewhere around 400 posts, things really start to happen. The search engines are really interested in your site by that time, especially if you've posted regularly and frequently. And so by about 400 posts, that starts to really kick in. Now, that might be about a year, okay? If you're posting, say, a post a day, it's about a year. If you're posting one post a week, then it's going to take you a few years to get there. So, some people say, oh, I've done that blog thing and it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work if you don't do enough. So, as my friend says, you start with one post at a time, one post a month, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. But it's not going to get you anywhere. Start, in my opinion, with one post a week. That's about as easy as one post a month. If you can't figure out how to get a post worth of material every week, then you're not listening. Okay, and come back here on Mondays, and we'll fill you in. Go back and look at the replays for my Monday sessions, and you'll get some answers to that. There's a lot of good ways to get that material. So you should be able to post once a week. That's to get started. But once you get that feel of it going, you really need to post preferably once a day, but at least start to feel some traction going on, traffic coming to your site. And by the time you have 400 posts in place, there's going to be a lot of traffic regularly going to your site. Those numbers, what happens, and then come back and tell me it didn't work. But don't tell me it didn't work if you've only got 10 posts out there or 50 posts out there and post one a week for a year. That's a little light on the numbers. So keep that in mind. So when you're posting, the other thing that WordPress opens up for you is the ability to set the look and the feel of your pages and posts. Right out of the box, WordPress does a good job. And with the visual editor, if you don't know any coding at all, you can organize your site a little bit, and you can have images, you can resize the images easily on the fly, you can wrap your text around the images, you can use different fonts, you can use different sizes of text for headers. You can add bold text where necessary. You can add colors. So many things that you can do. If you extend your visual editor, the basic visual editor, with something like TinyMCE Advanced, which will give you many, many more features and controls in the visual editor, making it a little bit more like a word processor, you can do a lot more. But there's another thing that you can do to your website, and we're going to do a special session on this a little later. I'm just waiting for some things to come together. But I want to mention these today because it really applies. There are several excellent page builder plugins available for WordPress that allow you to completely control the look of your pages and posts. They're drag and drop editors. They have all the kind of quality that the old drag and drop editors for creating whole websites used to have, but post or a web page on your site. And so that all comes together nicely. And this works beautifully, very easy for anybody without coding to create a good look there. Hey, Christopher, welcome. Glad to see you. And so these page builders are starting to pop up. There's a lot of really good ones showing up, and I'm going to mention 3 today that I think are truly worth looking at. One of the popular ones that's been around a little bit now, but fairly new in the field, is Beaver Builder, and you can just imagine a energetic beaver out there with his teeth working away on the trees to build a dam, and you've got this piece of software, this plugin that's going to go into your WordPress site that's going to allow you to build web pages. You're going to get your teeth into it, and figuratively, of course, and you're going to work at making your pages look better. So Beaver Builder is one choice, and I've shared the link over there. There's a new one that's just out, and it's one of the ones I'm waiting for. I just got confirmation today that I'll have a copy tomorrow, actually. So we'll be talking specifically about it next week. But this is the Poodle Page Builder Pro, and that's Poodle with a T, not the dog. And this is a brand new release. It's a development, an outgrowth from a page builder that they created for the Canvas theme from Woo Themes Canvas. The Poodle guys are pretty big into the whole page builder that they created for Canvas. Was so popular and so well liked. People asked for it for other themes, and they've now created one that will work on virtually any theme. So that's Poodle Page Builder Pro, and it is now shipping. So you will be able to go and to that site and have a look at it. And then a third one that I want to look at, and we're going to talk about each of these going forward because I think each one deserves some pretty serious examination. And that's Elegant Themes Divi Builder. Now, the Divi Builder is a plugin. It started out as being an integral part of the Divi theme. It was one of the things that set Divi apart as a theme, as a very popular theme for people to use. In order to catch up, many other themes now either bundle another theme, a page builder with their theme, or they recommend a certain page builder, just to be able to have it there because of the success of Divi, including that with the theme. Now, when you get Divi theme now, it still has page builder with it, but it's a separate plugin that, as it should be, it's separate from the theme. Designs can stay. They're not tied to your theme. That's pretty important. So in my estimation now, the Divi Page Builder, which is a separate plugin, has really come of its own. And I think those are the 3 top ones. Certainly take comments from anybody else who has another favorite or one that they think competes with these. There are several other page builders out there, and people are always going to have their favorite, and what you're used to and what works for you is probably best for you. But if you're looking for something new and you don't want to spend a huge amount of time shopping around looking at all the different choices, any one of those 3 will do a good job. And you may want to look at all 3 to see just how you feel about them. It's just a good collection of different approaches to page building there and how they work. But as plugins, they claim anyway to work with almost any theme. They probably say works with any theme. Sometimes you'll run into the odd theme that may be a bit of a conflict, but that's certainly a good choice to look at those 3. So in coming weeks, I'm going to take a look at each one in more detail. I'm actually setting up a demo site where I'm going to install them and work with them myself so that I can speak directly to the structures and how they work and how they respond and how I feel about them. And remember, I'm a coder. I don't use a page builder for my normal work because I can write HTML like punctuation when I'm writing content. So I really don't need a page builder, because all a page builder does is bring together the various components that you can code yourself. Now, the page builder does allow some extra features that I wouldn't necessarily code, but I don't need them. I don't tend to use them. I prefer to keep my sites a little bit less cluttered, shall we say. So I can do everything I need kind of coding along as I write my text. Since HTML is just markup language, it actually goes into the text that I'm writing, and I've learned it and used it so much over the years, it truly is like punctuation for me. When I work with clients and I'm trying to show them how to do something in the visual editor, sometimes I end up slipping in HTML code that I don't mean to put there because my fingers just do it so naturally, just as you'd put a period or a comma in a sentence. So I don't use the page builder, so this is going to be a real exercise for me to go into these and dig into them, and I'll be just like any other new person starting with them, and I'll be able to give you an idea of how they feel to get started with and what I think about each one compared to the others. So I hope that'll be helpful for you in coming weeks. In the meantime, if you need a page builder, go and grab one or all three and try them out yourself and see how they go. All three of those are available right now. Most have pro versions as well, so that's worth looking at. Jonathan, hi, and Dennis, hi. Glad to see you with us. Dennis, haven't seen you for a few weeks. I hope you're feeling better and up and around now. Still looking for your show. Post the link to where we can get information. I know you have a Facebook group. And anybody else who's here wants to share in the chat, feel free to pop a link in there, share. So I'm going to open the seat first for anybody who wants to hop in and just jump into chat on the record, so that if you have something to share, a question to ask, anything on the top, and I'll end the recording and we'll get into just some general chit chat. And Dennis.
Hi, Steve.
Dennis is jumping in, so we'll get you in there, Dennis. Just let me click all the buttons they've layered on here for this.
Oh, doing good. How about you, man? It's been a long time.
There you go. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm just like that close to being done with that silly cold I had. It's still, Monday, if I even mentioned it, I would cough. Now I'm just past that, so it's good. It's been a long time, 6 weeks. Never had a cold last that long before.
And it's not even summer yet. So we can't even blame the summer cold thing. And as I'm saying that, I'm feeling congested myself. I got a stuffy nose. I think it's the change in the weather up here. We even had frost warnings last night up here, so it's been crazy. But I've been spending a few times going to and from doctors. I've had several doctor's appointments, just as checkups. So everything is going good, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to jump in on you here. Things are going good, and I'm working more and more on getting the show together. As you know, it takes work to put it together and to get it to do it right, so you're not coming off haphazard, and that's one of the worst things you can do, as you know better than I do. But you don't want to do that, because now you're whatever audience you might have had, you've lost real quick.
Yeah. Well, and in your case, you really have a great deal of physical stuff, technical stuff that is visible or will be visible or is shared that you've got to get right. So yeah, and some of it is time sensitive, and you may have to prepare stuff ahead of time. All those great things that happen with cooking shows. So truly far more difficult than what I do. But you get to eat the results. Oh, that's cool. And Christopher, I did approve you for coming in there, but it seemed to have dropped for some reason. If you want to try again, by all means, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I won't stay long with you, Steve. I'm going to stay with you, but I won't take up a seat. So you get somebody else in. But it's just like I said, I've been meaning to get back with you.
Dennis, did you have anything WordPress
missed you,
question or?
So I just thought I'd drop in, and Kathy's been really busy, and it's been pretty crazy out here.
It's really good to see you, Dennis. It really honestly is. Haven't seen you in a while. No?
Yeah, good to see you too, Chris.
It's kind of.
I don't know if people.
Old Steve is freezing up here left and right. I thought I'd. Hey, Steve. Do you want me to stay here while you jump in and out?
Yeah, I know I'm freezing up. I don't know what it is. Yeah, yeah, stay there. Actually, you can go out and back in now without having to worry about it. But let me just bump you up here to a host. Yeah.
Sneaking around.
Let me see if I can.
You said hi.
Get back in. Oh, hi, Cat waving in the background.
She was sneaking in as she was cruising by me there. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, so cool. So everybody's been doing good, huh?
Yeah. I just missed Jonathan Deadwood just stepped out. He does the WP Tonic Blab, which is really a pretty good blab. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to listen to his blab.
No, believe it or not, I haven't.
Yeah, WP Tonic's pretty good. Let's see, there we go.
Look, guys, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to wrap up the video here. Since this is
you said that you're building your cooking blog, your cooking blab, correct?
Yes, I'm working more and more on it.